Did you know that several years ago, Michael Moore gave me, I think it was $1,000. That's true. During Occupy Wall Street, Michael Moore donated to my work about $1,000. And I was very excited. He put my live stream on his website, and I was very excited. I was like, wow, you know, that's recognition from this guy. And he recognized me in the street once when he was doing an event, and I was like, this is really cool. Now I'm a bit disappointed because Michael Moore seems to be just saying whatever it is the left. He's just like, he's the left, therefore he must say what they say. And this is upsetting to me because I used to see Michael Moore as a guy who stood up for the working class. He stood up for the poor. He would yell things like tax the rich, and I'm like, I get it, right? Today, you know, I went and saw that film, what was it, Fahrenheit 11/9, and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was just like, he was just regurgitating leftist talking points. And it's sad because the left has gone off the rails. They're not, like, the unions aren't even on board with these people anymore. Like, are you paying attention? CNN runs a segment where they're like, a Democrat stronghold is voting for Trump. They vote for local Democrats, they vote for Trump nationally. But Michael Moore is going to say whatever he's got to say to appease the left for the sake of being the left. Sorry, Michael Moore. When you abandon the working class in Michigan and now start pushing these weird lefty things, you are no longer, like, you're not preaching to anybody but fringe weirdos. Well, I did a segment about this, but now we got another one. Michael Moore personally messages Iran to beg for forgiveness for America. You know what, man? Listen, I'm critical of Donald Trump's actions in the Middle East. I think it was bad to escalate the tensions with Iran. I do not think it makes sense to send a message to Iran begging for forgiveness, especially when you recognize. See, let me say something. It was bad what Trump did, period. But I said period, but that's stupid. But here's the thing. The escalation in Baghdad it wasn't like Trump was just like, I'm going to target this guy. First of all, the guy's been the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's been considered a terror organization since back in April. This wasn't willy-nilly. My understanding is that this guy Soleimani was considered a terrorist going back to the Obama administration. This has been a long time coming. Meaning the government's been planning this. The escalation has been back and forth for a long time. Iran has been engaging in a bunch of, really messed up things for a long time. They supply weapons to really bad people, and it causes major, instability in the Middle East. I don't think we should be there. I think instability is going to continue there, and I guess there'll be war. I don't know what the plan America has is there, so I don't like any of it. And the problem I have with Trump's actions is partly due to, like, I oppose, killing people, even bad people, to a certain degree. I understand the escalation, but I understand why Trump did it, but I don't like the escalation. But the point is, this is virtue signaling psychosis, okay? We saw Rose McGowan say that stupid, like, please forgive us, please don't kill us to Iran. Dude, this is an Islamic theocracy, okay? These are not good progressive people. They're a nation. They deserve their sovereignty. They can do what they want. I do not like them violating human rights. And to a certain extent, I believe we do have a duty to stop things. Yes, lo and behold, anti-interventionist, anti-regime change war Tim Pool recognizes there are certain circumstances where you do need to do things. There's a lot of things going on and have gone on in the past. And I think everyone recognizes that certain atrocities committed by world leaders need to be stopped. Now, Iran isn't necessarily at that level. Iran is a developed nation. They're sovereign. Let them do their thing, fine. If they're committing acts of war, then we do sanctions. And I'll tell you this, man. As much as I hate everything that happened, I recognize it's a rock and a hard place. The Soleimani guy is arming and training and planning for militias and stuff, and it's just really, really bad across the board. It wouldn't be our problem if we weren't there. So I don't, it's not the level of like World War II where I think we need to intervene. But anyway, let's read the story about Michael Moore, who in my opinion is this is the stupidest thing ever, okay? You can criticize Trump without reaching over, like bending over backwards and up and around your own waist to try and desperately appease the fringe left. Documentary filmmaker Michael Moore on Sunday announced he had personally messaged Iran's supreme leader to ask the Ayatollah not to respond to a U.S. airstrike against his top commander with violence of any kind. In a post to his social media accounts, Moore reported that he had recorded the message of peace on his podcast and DM'd it to Ali Khamenei. Khamenei, I would pronounce his name. He said he had suggested that instead of retaliating for the killing of the Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani, Khamenei should let me and millions of Americans fix this peacefully. Oh, that's right, because everybody knows under Obama, relations between Iran and the United States were perfect. And by electing a Democrat, everything will be Skittles and rainbow. And you think Iran cares? I'm sorry, Iran. You think they care? Listen, Obama had the nuclear treaty. Obama did try to appease Iran, but it's not like things were going well. Like, what you think the Supreme Leader is going to be like, Michael Moore makes a good point. If I just let them vote for another Democrat who's pro-war, then things will be great. This is ridiculous. These people are nuts. Like, you know what, man? Here's the problem I have with it. Okay? I would like to see a de-escalation of tensions. I think Trump went too far. I think Trump is he dropped the hammer. Okay? I'm more of a diplomacy and kind of person, and we shouldn't be there in the first place kind of person. So I don't believe the retaliation serves us in any way. We can just leave. But I get it. It's very, how do you deal with the escalating tensions and the attacks on an embassy? There are hard questions that need to be answered. So I don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I don't like as well? When these like woke celebrity types pretend like they care. They send these stupid tweets out. Let me show you this stupid tweet. This is, he posted to Instagram apparently. He said, I have just had the Ayatollah of Iran a personal appeal asking him not to respond to our assassination of his top general with violence of any kind, but rather let me and millions of Americans fix this peacefully. I recorded and DM'd him a message on my podcast, Rumble. You can hear it on any podcast platform like Apple or Spotify. We need to prevent war, any war now. When the Ayatollah responds, I'll post his reply. Let me tell you what Michael Moore actually did. What Michael Moore actually did is a promo for his podcast. Michael Moore posted the image of the Ayatollah and claimed he did this, he probably did, so that he could promote his podcast. Because he's a virtue-signaling progressive, pretending to hold progressive values while abandoning the working class and acting like he actually cares about any of this. I appreciate the money, Michael Moore, but I do not trust you actually care. After I watched Fahrenheit 11/9, after you started ragging on white people, after he said in a podcast with Rolling Stone, if you see white men walking on the street, you better cross the street. These are not good people. This is the guy who was supposedly standing up for the white working class union laborers in Michigan, who's now blaming them and calling them evil, bad people you should be afraid of. So when I see this stuff, I get really angry. You know what really makes me angry? Excuse me, I burped. That's what makes me angry. Grinds my gears. I burp when I talk. No, I'm kidding. It's that, here's how I see the Republicans. Ideologically driven individuals who say what they mean for the most part and are fighting for what they want. Here's how I see the progressive left for the most part. You've got a lot of people who don't pay attention to the news. You've got Democrats who lie because they want keys to the castle. And you've got people like Michael Moore who pretend to care so they can get podcast views. They simultaneously claim that they're not racist when they're very racist. I'm not saying other people aren't racist. I'm just saying they are. They simultaneously claim they're there to support the working class and the poor. And then Michael Moore comes out and insults them and says he blames the white people. They're liars and hypocrites and deceivers. They're people who are attracted to the fastest path to power. And what's really frustrating is when they accuse me and other people of doing the same thing. Listen, man, the right wing has their stupid grifters. They exist. They annoy the hell out of me, okay? But typically I look at these Republicans and they're like, here's what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I disagree with you on those cultural and religious issues. I look over Michael Moore and he's simultaneously saying like, we need to help the working class, but those white people are bad. What are you talking? What? It's duplicitous, deceitful, and it's because they want power. That's about it. They want views, and they turn around and accuse everyone else of doing the exact same thing. Wasn't that one of Saul Alinsky's strategies anyway? This is the problem I have with the left, is that I genuinely believe in a lot of left-wing policy positions, but every time I look to the leadership, look at this. This is an advertisement for a stupid podcast. He doesn't care about what's going on. So you know what, man? To a certain degree, I don't care about motivations. Do the right thing. Bernie Sanders came out with a bill and he's saying we're going to block the war with Iran. And I'm like, I don't care why he's doing it. I care that he's doing it. So good. I will support Bernie Sanders in his efforts to say no war with Iran, period. And you know, I care not for the virtue signaling, for the outrage, for the people saying, oh, Trump, he's a terrorist or whatever. Shut up. I don't care. The presidents have always done this. Trump is not special. Trump is not doing anything unique. Obama, thousands of drone strikes. George W. Bush launches the war. I get it. What Trump did here was a dramatic escalation targeting a military leader. I understand that. But I've been sitting here watching this foreign policy play out for my entire life. And I'm not convinced any of it will ever be different. When I went on Crowder, What I said was, in my view, the office controls you. There are intelligence agencies and there's a machine at play, and Americans are addicted to this. They don't want, it's like there's seemingly no other course of action. Trump may have had good intentions, but he gets into office, and then they say, here's what we have going on. And he says, well, we have troops here. Iran then attacks us because they're tired of us being there. So then Trump says, not on my watch, and he strikes. And the next president will do the exact same thing. So Michael Moore comes out now with, we better apologize. Oh, I'm so happy that you posted all these messages during the Obama era. I'm not saying this because I'm excusing what Trump is doing. I'm sick and tired of all of these people pretending like they care, but they said literally nothing when Obama was doing the exact same BS. Okay? So I'm sitting here criticizing the president for the escalations in the Middle East, explaining that America is addicted to war and the machine is bloodthirsty, and I will criticize Obama all day and night for the same thing like I've always done. And you know what's really funny? I'll end with this. I'm not going to name the person, but they thought they were going to drag me on Twitter because I tweeted a joke about Obama and drone strikes. I then made it was a complete thread. And I ended the thread by pointing out an article that said Trump is increasing drone strikes. Well, these progressives were like, you know what Tim will never tell you? That Trump has actually increased drone strikes. And I'm like, literally, it's in the thread like a minute apart. Okay? This is what these people do. They're grifters. They play this game and they act like I'm the grifter. Like you guys watching are the people who are being played or whatever. No, I'll make a Twitter thread. I'll say Obama did thousands of extrajudicial assassinations, and I'll mention that drone is up in the drone strikes too. I will point out that Barack Obama executed American citizens, and I will point out that Donald Trump ordered a commando raid in Yemen, which killed an 8-year-old little American girl. I don't play games. I'm sick of all the BS, and I'm sick of people like this. So when I look to the Republicans right now and the conservatives, and they're cheering on Trump, I believe them. And I get it. And I hate it. And I look to Michael Moore, and he's a liar. You see the problem here? I can look into the eyes of a Trump supporter where they say, I agree with Trump's actions. And I say, I don't. And they say, too bad. And I say, you're right. And I look to these Democrats, and they're like, I can't believe Trump would do this. BS. I don't want to swear, but you said nothing during Obama. Okay? The Republicans weren't slamming Obama for this stuff. The Republicans weren't coming out and being like, Trump shouldn't be doing this. No, they were saying, Obama. The Republicans back then were like, this is American policy, and at least Obama is doing this right, and they accuse him of being weak. The Republican policy position on this has been consistent. Okay? There are a lot of people anti-war, I get it, but it's been consistent. I can see that. I can watch it on Fox News, and they're like, thank Trump for doing this. It's always been that way. But when it comes to the left, they're like, you know what, man? This is probably the easiest way to explain it. If you want an example of exactly what's wrong with the Democrats, it's this. Republicans have consistently praised strong arm tactics and military intervention, for the most part. And Democrats pretend like it's a bad thing when a Republican's in office and say nothing when the Democrat's in office because they are lying. Okay? I got one more video coming up for you in a few minutes. Stick around. I'll see you then.